This is an intro. Who needs an intro? I don't need an intro. This is just a vape show. It's just a vape show. Vape show. This is an intro. Who needs an intro? I don't need an intro. This is just a vape show. It's just a vape show. Vape show.
YouTube, what is up? I'm your homeboy Josh, back at you, and today we're taking a look at the G6 from Halo. This is a starter kit for people first getting into vaping. Now, some people, when they first start vaping, they get into cig-a-like devices. Cig-a-like devices are great and whatnot, but eventually people want to be able to reuse their devices. They want to get more bang for their buck, more mileage out of their vape, and they often go with a device like this that has sort of a couple of batteries and comes with some cartridges. Like, these are cartomizers is what they're called. This is a little bit old school, but the thing is, I always wanted to try the G6. The G6. You know, call me crazy, I always wanted to try the G6. I know it's not really my speed. I know that these are more for new vapors. These are for, this might be actually a little bit of a later step. Usually you'd probably go to something out of a convenience store or grocery store first, and once you're tired of that, you'd probably come into something like this. And I never got to try the G6. You know, stars didn't quite align. I went another route. I got into other devices and I never got around to getting one. This was, when I was coming into vaping, this was one of the greatest brands out there. And that was going on almost 3 years ago now, and it's still one of the best brands out there from what I hear. So I'm stoked to try one out. Almost 3 years now I've been vaping, and Halo asked me if I would take a look at some of their devices. And I looked through some of their devices online and I was like, okay. A lot of it was kind of like rebranded eLeaf kind of stuff, was the stuff that they have on their site right now, which is fine. eLeaf makes great stuff. But Halo, when I think Halo, I think G6, and I had to try the G6. This was my opportunity. And I gotta say, in all honesty, it's a pretty sweet package. Comes in a jewel box. It says G6 starter kit on the side. Around the back you've got some information about the product, contents list, all that good stuff. Some more branding around the side. Halo. Open it on up. The starter kit that they sent me came with 6 blanks, which is completely blank cartridges not filled with any juice. The blanks are also safety sealed over here, so you can see that there's been no tampering. And it also came with 2 batteries in blue. It's really cool blue color. Pretty good device for what it is. For a standard sort of cig-a-like with a carto, it's a pretty good device. But before we really get into this review, I do want to take the time to remind you, we all have a part to play in the fight against Big Pharma, Big Tobacco, the FDA, and the deeming regulations that are looming over our heads. That means that if you're on social media, remember to paint the best possible image of the vape community that you can. If you're a shop or a shop owner, remember to remind your customers that they have to get in on this fight if they want to keep vaping. And follow all your calls to action, including those to support HR 2058 and the Cole-Bishop Amendment, because we all have to do our part. Halo, I might add, is among one of the first companies to file a lawsuit against the FDA. So, awesome. Good on them. Now, this starter kit, with it, you get a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 empty cartomizers. When you open them up, they look like this. They got like little condoms on each side. You get your filler in there, just a bunch of cotton. You pull off the condom on this side, pull off the condom on that side. This side is your connector. This is what makes connection to the battery itself. And this side is the part where you're gonna put your lips to and take a pull. All that's inside there is a bit of cotton wrapped around a heating element. It's what you call a cartomizer. You get 2 batteries, and I believe when you order you have a choice between a manual battery or an automatic. Kind of wish this was the manual, but it's alright. Now, Halo provides both automatic batteries, which are these, and manual batteries. Now, with an automatic battery, all that's happening is when you take a pull from the cartomizer that is attached to the battery, it automatically triggers the heating element within the cartomizer to heat the cotton and vaporize your e-liquid. With a manual battery, there would be a little button that you would use to trigger it, as opposed to taking a pull. It's a little bit different, takes a little bit of getting used to with the manual, but some people prefer it over the automatic. It's all just personal preference. I just would have kind of preferred a manual, but it's alright. Underneath the little foam, we also get some extra goodies inside the box. You get a bit of a manual. You get a little bit of a manual telling you how to use the USB charger, telling you when to recharge the battery, giving you an idea of charging time, the components. Decent, short manual here, very easy to learn. You get some more accessories. I like that label on the box, that's fun. The accessory here being a USB charger. It's a 5-volt input, 5-volt output. Keep that in mind. And it also comes with a wall charger as well. So when you're charging your battery, you're just gonna plug those two items together, take your battery, screw it on in there, and plug it on into charge. That's all there is to it. They come in a rainbow of colors, and they're really cool finishes on them. This aluminum sort of blue going on, this cobalt blue thing going on. It says G6 over here. Lights up blue when you vape on it. The other colors, I believe they match as well. When you pull on it, they'll write up the respective colors. If you get a yellow one, it'll light up yellow. If you get a green one, it'll light up green, and so on and so forth. It's a fun device. It's a sleek looking device. For a cig-a-like device, it's very sleek looking. Now the way I like to fill these cartomizers, when you get one, it's got like this little condom on each side of it, right? And one of them has nothing there. It's just sort of like a flat bottom. And the other one has a little spike in the middle of it, and that's to protect the inside of the cartomizer. Your cartomizer is pretty much this bit of cotton that's around your heating element in there, basically a little vertical coil usually. What you need to do is saturate this cotton. Put about 1 milliliter of juice in here is what you do. What I do is I take about 10 drops or so, and I fill up the one that has the flat bottom, right? Sort of like a plunger kind of method of filling is what it is. And I take my cartomizer, and I just sort of plunge it down into that little condom, and I plunge it in there little by little, just about 1 millimeter or 2 at a time until I get all the way to the bottom. And I pause every millimeter or so because the juice will be coming up through the middle of the cartomizer. You don't want to drown it. You want to let it bubble up a little bit there and stop. And then plunge it down a little bit more, bubble up a little bit and stop. Plunge it a little bit more, it bubbles up and you stop. And then when you get to the bottom, it's like the inner layer of the cotton is all saturated, but the outer layer is still a bit dry. So I'll take my juice and I'll put in about another 4 or 5 drops or so. That's about it. And then I'll let it sit for maybe 2-3 minutes, and then I can vape. That's how I first fill it. But from there you've got to basically fill it a little bit here and there as you vape. Maybe every 5, 6, maybe every 10 pulls or so, a little less than that maybe. Take a bit more juice, and go ahead and drop it on in there. That's it. About 4 or 5 drops to cap it off. Then you put this little rubber insert back in the top, give it a moment or two. Just about 4 or 5 drops to resaturate. That's it, and you're vaping again. The flavor on it is great. I mean, this is Halo's Tribeca. I mean, it's not like dripping. You know, I'm a tripper, to be honest with you. I like high wattage tanks, and I like high wattage RDAs, and I like vaping at, 80, 90 watts. That's not what this is, okay? This is basically just very, very casual vaping is what it is. So, am I getting every nuance of the juice that I can get with another device? No. But it's still very, very good. That's what I'm tasting here. It's Tribeca, and it's damn good juice. So I'm thrilled to have had the opportunity to try the G6. I think as far as a rechargeable cig-a-like device goes, it's a pretty excellent device. It's a little bit weightier than an actual cigarette for sure. It's a little bit wider than an actual cigarette. It's very comfortable in the hand, it's comfortable in the lips, and it's familiar, is what it is. So if you're in the market for a starter kit vape device to get you into vaping, then yeah, I would look no further than the G6. I've had a few of these sorts of devices in the past, and this is by far the best one I've ever used, for sure. Anyway, till next time, I'm your homeboy Josh. Vape on, Vapers.